Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. You can give us a call tonight at 412-575-2600. We definitely have a lot to talk about. We got the right guy to do it with, Jason Mackey from the Post-Gazette and also 93.7 The Fan. And definitely have a lot to unpack. Big weekend. We got the Steelers opener against Seattle. Also a huge game in Morgantown tomorrow, the backyard brawl. You headed there, Jason?
I am. I can't wait, Richie. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. The Panthers are 7.5-point favorites, which surprises me a little bit. Maybe that, that line is skewed a little bit from West Virginia losing last week, which, I didn't think they were going to lose that game. But to me, it feels like that they were overlooking Ohio, looking ahead to Pitt.
I don't think West Virginia is very good, Richie.
Okay.
I don't think this game is going to be particularly close. It shouldn't be. Pitt has much more talent. Eli Holstein, I think, is a secret weapon for the Panthers. He looked much better in Game 2. The familiarity with Cade Bell, I like it a lot. I feel bad for anybody who's a West Virginia alum or fan out there. I just don't think the Mountaineers have the talent to hang with Pitt this year.
Well, then I'm sure you would vote with our fans right now. 100% are saying in our Penn West University question of the night, just scan that QR code and get in on the action if you think West Virginia has a chance in this game. Right now, all the voters are going with Pitt. I actually think Pitt's going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a runaway type game. Maybe it's because of the Pitt Panther in me. I've seen too many of these where it didn't go the Panthers' way. They should beat them, and I think they should beat them handily. But, these type of games sometimes are closer than you think.
Yeah, they are. But there are so many things I can point to, Richie. The Pitt defense, they've only forced one turnover in 2 games. This is a much better defense than that. West Virginia has had problems turning the ball over in its first 2 games. I'm looking for that to be a big factor here. Maybe a pick 6, maybe a fumble recovery in the red zone, something like that. And then if they can get Des Reed going, he's had a quiet 2 games. I mentioned Eli Holstein before. I really like Pitt's group of receivers. We've seen a different guy step up every game, whether it's Blue Hicks, Kenny Johnson, whatever. They've been really impressive to me. I just think Pitt has too much firepower.
Yeah, it's 7.5. I think I would still take Pitt minus the points in that game, even in Morgantown. The last game that they lost to the Mountaineers was in Morgantown in 2023. I do like Pitt to win this game. The only thing that kind of worries me, like I said, it's a huge rivalry, and this is Rich Rodriguez Super Bowl. I mean, he's been on record saying that was the worst loss of his career, 13-9. I remember like it was yesterday.
Well, I mean, Rich Rod has right now got off to kind of a tepid start with WVU, right? The loss to Ohio hurts. This would eliminate all of that in a hurry. I think people would look at Rich Rodriguez's return as a huge success if he's able to beat Pitt, and it changes things entirely for WVU's season. If the Mountaineers win, I mean, you're looking at 2-1 at that point, coming off the Pitt victory. I understand what you're saying about Pitt slipping up. My case for Pitt's slip-ups is generally you don't see them coming quite like this. I think Pat Narduzzi is going to have the Panthers ready to play. Now, later in the season, as maybe momentum builds and we're thinking Pitt's going to win an easy one and then they stub their toe and inexplicably play like you-know-what, all bets are off. I can totally see that happening. I understand where you're coming from, but this is too big of a game too early. I think they take care of it.
Yeah, you might be right with this one. And the one thing, I mean, I think it takes a little bit of time with that Rich Rodriguez offense and bringing in new guys and trying to get everything up and running over there. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely could see the struggles and a slow start for West Virginia. I like the Panthers as well. So we'll get to the Steelers in a second, but I want to touch on the Pirates. Basically irrelevant. They lost again here today, their 84th loss of the season. Last time you and I did the show, they were looking pretty good. I think they were like 38-22 or so. Wait, they won 22 of their last 38, which is what it was, right? And now, since you and I, the last show we did together, they lost 7 straight.
Yeah, they've changed the narrative here, Richie, and I don't mean in a good way. I know at the end of that really good run, I was on with you the day before. I did something with the PM team, and we're talking about whether Ben Cherington might stay now, whether they're winning almost too much to convince Bob Nutting to keep Ben Cherington around. Well, they took care of that. I know this about the Pirates. If there's an opportunity for Bob Nutting to keep the GM, I think he would maybe be amenable to it. They're taking that away from him. At this point, if you finish with 67 wins, 68, 69, something like that, 6 years ago, that forced Bob Nutting to act in a couple big ways that he probably didn't want to but recognized were necessary. I feel like we're in that same spot.
Yeah.
That's the type of baseball they're playing. They have to do something.
Well, yeah, there's no question they're getting to the 76 wins this season. They have to make a change, and, I'm for cleaning house and trying to start over again. I like Don Kelly, but, what gets me about this year, and we'll talk about this before we go to the break here, I've never seen a team that's so streaky. I mean, you'll lose 7, 8, 9 games, and then you win, or you go on a streak where you might win 10 out of 14 or whatever. They're consistently bad. They're consistently streaky, and they can't find any consistency. I could see if they were bad and they'd win 1 and lose 2, win 1, lose 2 here. But no, they lose 10 and then go and win 10.
You know why, Richie? It's offense. They don't have enough consistent offense to cover up for all the other crap. If they were able to score runs, it makes the other stuff go away. Maybe you don't have a great fundamental game. Maybe you don't run the bases terribly well. I don't know what Alexander Canario was doing. That's not how you're taught to slide into home plate. Slide, direct line right there, not that hard. They struggle with little things. And if you're going to do that, you have to be able to hit to cover up for it. Obviously, this team can't hit. And that's my biggest problem with bringing Ben Cherington back for next season. He has shown no ability to go out and find offense. That's what the Pirates need. They have some pitching. They have some pieces. I didn't agree with the quick hook on Mitch Keller tonight, but they do have starting pitching. They do have relief pitching. It's enough there, but you got to go get bats, man. I mean, there's a lot more to it, don't get me wrong, but it starts with offense.
And you got to question some of the players in the defense that they have right now, too. O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
That's a play a little leaguer would make. Lets the ball get under him and
but I don't know what you do there, Richie.
Yeah, there's nothing you really can do.
You have to live with it.
You have to live with that. Yep. All right, we're going to take your calls coming up next. 412-575-2600 is the number. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh along with Jason Mackey here tonight. Xfinity tweet of the night right here, Steelers history. Steelers versus Seahawks on the biggest stage. That was a great game. I remember that game. Tremendous game, tremendous win. Bettis goes home and wins the Super Bowl. So nice memory to look back on. And, hey, it's not out of the question if the Steelers play, the offense plays like it did in New York or New Jersey. I don't know if we're talking Super Bowl, but, hey, we're talking about a win in the playoffs maybe.
Yeah, we should be, Richie. And I think it changes the conversation with this team a lot. Let's say the defense figures it out. How about that? I think the offense changed the narrative last week. It kind of proved itself a little bit more capable than a lot of people thought. I don't know about you. I have no problem with Aaron Rodgers under center and what he did. I have some questions whether they're going to be able to give him enough time. But if Aaron Rodgers has time, I think they have some weapons. I'm happily wrong about that, or at least it looks that way so far. Defensively, they have to stop the run. They have to do a better job. I was down at Steelers today along with you, and that was some of the line of questioning for Jalen Ramsey, T.J. Watt. How can this defense perform better than it did against the Jets? 182 rushing yards, not acceptable. Very curious to see what they do on Sunday.
You know, the big reason for the efficiency on offense is no doubt Aaron Rodgers. If he can stay upright, I think they're going to be good. And you can see what a good quarterback, what a kind of a difference he makes. We haven't seen that in a long time. A guy's changing plays, actually being able to read the defense and going through his progressions consistently. It made one heck of a difference. And the eye test, you could see that right away.
You could, Richie. And, hey, I said this on the radio the other day, but we all owe Aaron Rodgers a bit of an apology. I mean, I think that we were very quick to bury him or be questioned. We didn't believe that he could do what he did on Sunday. He's doing it. It's a very mature look. I love when the Steelers are rolling something out like they did on Ben Skoronek's touchdown, where literally anybody is an option. I like what he's done as far as being a leader, bringing up some of the young guys, Connor Hayward, Roman Wilson. We're seeing it this week with Broderick Jones. Just mature play all around, on and off the field. It's been very impressive. Again, I have some concerns about whether they can block for him. But if they can block for him, I don't have any concerns whether Aaron Rodgers can still play.
You know, I think you probably agree with me, but for me, it was his age. That's what worried me. I mean, Father Time is undefeated. We talked about that many times. And that's the thing that concerned me was his age, because not too many quarterbacks that are 40. There's only one, Tom Brady, that was successful. So
I didn't know what the attitude was going to be like, Richie. I didn't know what, how teammates would take to him.
They love him.
They love him.
Yep.
I know. You're down there a lot. I'm down there a lot. Like, this is very clearly a guy that people gravitate toward. And I think he's having a heck of a lot of fun, man. I was watching him interact with some fans after practice. You can see the smile's genuine. He's always joking with teammates. Very, very easy to get along with.
And one of the guys he jokes around with all the time, I had a chance to do a one-on-one with that you'll hear on the pregame show coming up on Sunday, Ben Skoranek. Those guys are tight. He loves them. He couldn't stop talking about them during that interview. So you'll hear that interview coming up on Sunday. All right,
cool.
Let's go out to the phone lines. We got Craig out in Newcastle. How you doing, Craig?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for
Craig.
calling.
Good. Hey, you set me up perfect. I was calling to talk about the Pirates, and you said that last time you guys did the show together, they had been doing really well. And the common factor is that O'Neal Cruz came back. And I've been to 29 games this year, and I watch O'Neal Cruz in the outfield between pitches. His body language is terrible, so I checked it out, and we're 12-12 when he does not start, and 52-72 when he does.
Hey, Craig, before you go, I want to ask you real quick. You said you went to 29 games this year. How many games are you going to go to next year if they don't do anything in the offseason?
I'm still going to go.
Okay. I'm just curious.
You killed Richie's point, Craig.
I'm just curious because all the fans that I talked to said they're never buying a ticket again. But, all right.
Let's let the offseason play out. And Craig, I understand what you're saying, man, but, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to bench him? You're going to trade him? You're going to DFA him? Like, I'm running him out there. He has too much potential for me. I want to see if this kid can realize it. He's still cheap. He's going to be arbitration eligible for the first time this offseason. He'll get a little bit of a raise. It's still not going to be outside the Pirates' price range. Like, I'm going to live with the crap. I understand he struggled, but I'm not giving up on him.
Can you give up on him in center field? I think he's making more errors in center field than he did at shortstop.
Are you going to put him back at shortstop?
I'm asking you, what other position? Could you move him to right? I mean, you really can't hide the guy in the field.
Yeah.
I don't want him to go back to short. I'd rather Connor Griffin come up and play there.
Same.
And center field, it might be your second most important position on the field.
I know. I don't want him dealing with the north side notch. I don't want him dealing with the Clemente wall at PNC Park. And I don't want to move positions based on home and road. I think this is probably the best thing. And, I mean, he's got the athleticism, the arm, the legs, all that stuff to play center field. What he doesn't have is the experience or the feel. And he's never going to get that unless you play him. I realize it hasn't been good, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not arguing saying he's been a great center fielder. He's actually been a very bad one. But I mean, what's he going to do? Ruin the pennant chase?
Well, maybe if they start winning, maybe his attitude will change and maybe you'll see him playing better. Kirk out in Manor. How you doing, Kirk?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you guys, are you not upset at all about the way the Pirates are playing in their lineup from 1 through 9? Couldn't it be improved?
I've been upset since day one. It can't be improved. I mean, it can't be improved. They don't have the bats. What are you going to do? You could rearrange that lineup, and it seems like they do every single game. You could rearrange that lineup every single game, and it doesn't make a difference if you don't have a bunch of guys together that can hit.
Well, I mean,
somewhere in that lineup.
I understand what Kirk's saying. He wants more offense on the team.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yes, I'm upset by it. They've done a terrible job adding offense. They don't have enough offense on the roster. They don't have enough offense in the system. That's why the general manager should be fired. Like, yes, I don't know how many times we need to say it. The offense isn't good enough.
It's awful. It's historically bad. Historically bad. Let's go to Mark out in Madison. How you doing, Mark?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, this Pitt game tomorrow, I don't know. I'm a Pitt fan, but I have a feeling West Virginia is going to give them all they can handle. And
I hope you're wrong. I don't really have that feeling, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. But I think Pitt's going to go down there and win. And Jason made a great point earlier in the show. This is the kind of game early in the season that Pat Narduzzi has his team fired up for.
Yeah, I mean, the Pitt slip-up is going to happen later in the year. I look at every Pitt season, Richie. They're going to win one game they have no business winning, and they're going to lose one game they have no business losing. But Pitt does a pretty good job early on. They tease you, and they get your hopes up, and they make you think there's something, And to me, this is part of it. Maybe when they come off the bye and play Louisville or something like that, or maybe they beat Louisville and then have trouble with Boston College. I don't know. And I hate to slam WVU. I'm just looking at they lost 2 of their best offensive players after the Ohio game. I just don't think the talent is there to compete with Pitt. I think Pitt has more experience and they're better at all the skill spots.
I like how it's set up. I mean, the Panthers played 2 easy games and they got things figured out on offense, and I think things are starting to click now for them. Let's go out to Bob in Beachview. How you doing, Bob?
Okay. Say, listen, if we're supposed to have hope in Aaron Rodgers from his early performance, look how our early confidence in Russell last year didn't work out. What did Russell not do that you...
Well, he didn't throw over the middle of the field, and I don't think they gave him it was kind of a short leash, you think. Not a short leash, but you see it's Aaron Rodgers' offense. There's no question about it. And you could see he's moving guys around. He's changing plays.
Yeah.
We didn't see that from Russell Wilson or Justin Fields last year.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Richie. I mean, the conversation between Aaron Rodgers and Arthur Smith, it's completely different. There's so much more flexibility built into this offense. It's just night and day.
And I'll tell you, we're inside the locker room, and you can feel it. In the locker room, on the plane, wherever you are with this team, you can feel how confident they are right now. And it's a better atmosphere with Aaron Rodgers. There's no doubt about it. All right, we got to take a break. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Not a lot of time left, about a minute. Jason, let's go over some predictions. Pitt, West Virginia, Steelers opener against the Seahawks, and I'll start with Pitt, West Virginia. I think they're going to be. I think Pitt's going to win this game. I like a score somewhere around 27-17.
All right, I think it's going to be a little bit of a wider spread, Richie. I'm going Pitt 35-7, and I think Eli Holstein looks really good.
Oh, Panther fans are going to love you after that prediction. Now to the Steelers, the big game, the home opener. Everyone's going to be pumped up for this one. I'm going against with a lot of people. Everyone thinks it's kind of low scoring and it's going to be closer. I like a 32-23 win by the Steelers.
Ooh, okay. I'm not too far off from you, though. I'm going to go 28-13. I think the run defense is better, but I think they still struggle to protect Aaron Rodgers, and we're talking about the offensive line after this week.
Yeah, they got to get both sides of that run game fixed. There's no question about it. All right, so both of us took the Steelers and both of us took the Panthers. Let's see how – we'll talk next week and see how we did. And speaking of who our fans think is going to win, Pitt, 63%. Thanks a lot, Jason. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys switch over to KDK News right now.